What's your definition of black fatigue? Go ahead.
Right now.
Okay.
This right now. We're all fucking tired of you, bro.
Look here,
We're all
look here.
fucking tired of you.
Look.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yo, see, let me just, look, let me keep it real with you, okay? Because you're talking about some book from before. I'm talking about the colloquial sense right now. Black fatigue now is like, the black fatigue now is where we can't be honest about criticisms of the black community, because if we do say anything about blacks, it's immediately met with, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you need to lose your job, get out of here. This is why people are tired around being around blacks. We don't want to live around y'all niggas.
Myron Gaines just completely went off on this black activist over his claims about race during a heated college debate. Things got tense when a black student challenged Myron with a question meant to test him, but the student quickly became frustrated after Myron called him out over what he saw as a racist question. That moment pushed the student into deflecting instead of addressing the point directly. In the end, Myron had enough and completely exploded over what he believed were repeated false claims. Let's get into it.
What's up, Myron? Hey, I've just been observing you for like 5, years.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about, basically the black community, and basically just identify who you are and just identify your real message. So the first question is, do you find it uneasy in your eyes that white people in America has to compete for things they want in life?
Do I find it uneasy that white people have to compete for things?
Yeah, like when it comes to competition, super competition, they got to look at a black man at eye level to compete for something. Do you find that kind of uneasy, just in general, in everything?
I think everyone has to compete, and I think that's good.
Okay. I mean, this from observing to you, it just, when I'm like looking at your streams and stuff like that, it just seems like you just find it like unwell for people to like compete against another person of color. I'll go to the next question.
No, I'm for open competition. Like I think we should operate on a meritocracy, not to fill DEI quotas.
Okay. To keep it real, do you think civil rights was a mistake? If so, how?
No, I don't think it was a mistake. I think obviously giving everybody the equality of opportunity was important, but now we've gotten to a point now where it's equality of outcome, and that's the problem.
Okay, and so within your talks, Kick YouTube, I believe, yeah. So how can you be so passionate about claiming black people are the bottom of the barrel and has low IQ, but sat there and surrounded yourself with practically his entire teams with blacks, from learning the aspects of real estate to standing up for yourself and to making constant content and bringing up ideas? Like, for example, like Marquette Davins and Brandon Carter, Tristan and Andrew Tate, stuff like that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I acknowledge individual skill sets, right? I'm black myself. But when I say things, I'm talking about it generally. And, it tends to be like, and it's interesting because like black people and Jews are the people that get the most offended. If I say something critical of black people. I want to keep
this in mind. All right. I know a good learning aspect for people to learn. So with Jews, right, the first Jews are black. Okay. When you look in the Bible, the scriptures and shit like that, okay, everybody on there is niggas. So you got to keep in mind, just with the times when you start explaining about Jews, you gotta identify the person first. So Caucasian Jews.
Okay, that's not the point I'm trying to make.
Emphasize that because when you talk about Jews and shit like that, they think of white first, and that's not how it is. They gotta think the totality of what the Jews is, and it's also a religious practice. It's not an ethnicity.
It actually is an ethnicity.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. There's a reason why there's Jews that are Muslim. There's a reason why there's Jews that are Christian. There's a reason why there's Jews that are atheists, etc. They're an ethno-religion by far.
Just because you claim Jews, it doesn't classify them as a different being. They're still white at the end of the day. I just want to emphasize.
No, they're not white, and that's quite literally that's. See, and this is the thing with the black community. A lot of times, you guys will complain about systemic racism or white supremacy or whatever. A lot of the times, the people that you guys are pissed off at that are oppressing you.
Look this shit up too. This is UCLA. This is the.
Anyway. Yeah. So a lot of the people that you'll be pissed off at or say that are oppressing you or whatever, really a lot of times end up being Jews. It's just that they look like they're white because they're maybe
they're
from
Caucasian,
Ukraine or okay, that's fine. You can say that. You can say that.
Yeah,
but they're Jewish. There's a reason why they'll sit there and be like, well, you got to remove white people or whatever. Why do you think Ashkenazi Jews who look white are some of the biggest opponents of white nationalists or white identitarians, etc. It's because they don't identify as white. Now, they'll identify as white when it benefits them, but there's a reason why someone like a Ben Shapiro, when he's asked, are you white? He doesn't know what to say because they don't identify as white realistically. They identify as Jewish, okay? Now, with that said, and that's a big part of their right of return. So they absolutely have an identity that you can do a whole DNA test.
It's a religious practice.
It's a religion and
it's a religious practice.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
Let's go back to what we were originally discussing. You were saying that I said something about I am critical of the black community despite the fact that I have black people that work with me and that there's other black people that are intelligent. Great.
Like basically, like you use their ideologies like real estate. You know, standing up for yourself. You know, and shit like that. And then you like kind of, you know, turn it against people of color. I don't know. Go ahead.
What do you mean by that? I turn it by.
No, like you sit there, you preach about men, about making money and stuff like that. But you're really trying to turn that into the white audience. You really don't really preach about how to uplift the black community. And that's why I'm trying to emphasize.
It's actually quite the contrary. I get black people calling into my show all the time. One guy called in literally the other day. Hey, I want to buy Audi i8, but I want to get into real estate. You know what I told him? You buy 5 houses, you buy real estate, you get passive income, you take that passive income, and then you use that to pay off your liability. I tell people all the time, don't do the nigga shit. Don't buy the Jordans. Don't buy the fancy clothing. Don't buy the designer. Don't spend money on fine dining. I tell them all the time that none of this stuff is going to benefit. Can you let me finish my point?
Yeah, like Marquette Davidson taught you some nigga shit.
Can you let me finish?
Marquette Davidson taught you some nigga shit. He taught you on the low like how to fight and how to stand up for yourself.
He didn't teach me nothing. He didn't teach me anything. Anyway, so back to what I was saying, right?
Hey, that's what he said on the film.
Yeah, then that's not true. That's not true. He didn't teach me anything.
Like even doing his practices right now,
he didn't
standing
teach me
up for yourself.
He didn't teach me anything. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So I actually tell guys all the time, reject materialism, focus on buying real estate, invest, save your money, don't be an idiot, and live way below your means. That's what I tell guys all the time. I told people that literally on a call-in show the other day. Now, when it comes to the whole race thing, whatever, see, this is the issue that I have. If I'm critical of the black community and I say things like, hey, stop being a nigga, stop buying Jordans, stop buying, stop drinking alcohol, stop getting Hennessy, stop buying Timberland, stop doing all this dumb shit. Let me finish saying what I'm saying. Okay, stop hanging out with idiots. Stop being a moron. You know what I mean? Don't commit crimes. Whatever. Whenever I say these things, they say, "Oh, you're racist. Oh, you're a bigot. Oh, you're an Uncle Tom. Oh, you're a coon." Blah blah blah.
But you are,
and that's fine. You can say what you want to say. I think I'm giving some sound advice and trying to keep black men from doing dumb shit and not having a victim mindset like you have right now. Because when I criticize other groups of people, see, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like this is a black fatigue right now. You can't even let me finish saying what I'm saying.
Let's go into it.
This is a black fatigue right now.
Black fatigue.
Right? Let's go into it right now.
What's the definition?
I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to say. You're constantly interrupting. Right? I'm explaining and giving you my real position. And this is what I was trying to say before. When I criticize other groups of people, they don't cry and complain as much as the black community and the Jewish community do. They cry so much, call me a racist, call me an anti-Semite, but you guys can never call me a liar, which is the point. As long as you can until you can call me a liar, quite frankly, I don't care about your opinion or what you think.
Okay,
you call me a coon or an anti-Semite or an Uncle Tom, I'm just keeping it real.
This is
I want black guys to not be criminals, not be idiots, reject materialism,
I want people to get this book named Black Fatigue. It's by Mary Frances Winters. Okay, what's your definition of black fatigue? Go ahead.
This right now.
Okay.
This right now. We're all fucking tired of you, bro. We're all fucking tired of you. See, this is what I'm talking. Like, yo. See, let me just look. Let me keep it real with you, okay? Because you're talking about some book from before. I'm talking about the colloquial sense right now. Black fatigue now is like the black fatigue now is where we can't be honest about criticisms of the black community, because if we do say anything about blacks, it's immediately met with, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you need to lose your job, get out of here. This is why people are tired around being around blacks. We don't want to live around y'all niggas. You guys are annoying. You guys are fucking loud, obnoxious. You can't even let us finish our sentences like before, like right what you're saying before, bringing up a whole bunch of irrelevant shits as I'm explaining what I'm talking about. You mischaracterize my positions. You don't really pick up the black community. Really? I've talked to so many young black men and told them, yo, don't do this. Don't do that. Do not fall for this temptation here. Save your money. No materialism. Don't buy the fucking designer. It's stupid. It's not going to help you. Do not lease that car. Do not do that shit. Save your money. Invest in real estate. But of course, you're going to look at that. You hate black people. Actually, no, I just tell them what they need to hear versus what they want to hear.
Let me know in the comments whether you agree with Myron Gaines, and if this is yet another example of what many people call black fatigue. Because throughout this exchange, Myron was simply trying to make his point, yet he kept getting interrupted. It came across as frustrating, disrespectful, and honestly unnecessary. The activist kept bringing up arguments that didn't even seem connected to the discussion. It felt like he was constantly shifting the conversation toward topics that had nothing to do with what Myron was actually saying. Earlier, when Myron was discussing a completely different issue, the activist suddenly started talking about Black Jews. And the obvious question became, where did that even come from? It had nothing to do with the point being made, and only highlighted how disconnected he seemed from the actual conversation. It looked like he was so focused on his own.
All right, so the definition of black fatigue by the book. All right, black fatigue is a repeated variations of stress that results in extreme exhaustion and cause mental, physical, and spiritual maladies that are passed down from generation to generation. That's on page 11. All right, that bullshit that he put out was just off of emotions and shit. If you don't want to live around blacks, that's on you.
Nobody wants to live around blacks, bro. Nobody wants to live around blacks.
Who gives a fuck? I want blacks to live amongst each other and build each other up. That's the whole point.
Great.
But the thing is, you don't push that. That does
not refute what I said. No one wants to live around blacks because of this.
That doesn't affect blacks at all. That's a them problem. And also on page 11, they also...
Didn't refute what I said, though. Nobody wants to live around blacks, bro. Like, it is what it is. But like, they don't want to be around them.
Coming out here trying to get that validation.
And you're using like, because the
whole point is to be left alone.
There's certain terms that like, have a textbook definition, then there's terms that have like, more colloquial, like modern definitions. And the black fatigue is a relatively new thing that's come over the past several years where people are tired of having to bite their tongues or not say what they want to say about black people because they're scared of losing their job or being called a racist or whatever it may be, or be attacked. For that matter.
They've always done that. We've been attacked every day. What the fuck are you talking about?
You've been attacked every day?
No, I'm just saying it just in the history.
I would argue you as a black man has more advantages than white people.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I mean, not advantages, but like no.
No. Like for example,
you know why? Because they don't have skill set. They can't fucking.
If I take your skill set and I take a white person's skill set and you guys have identical skill sets, right? Identical GPAs, whatever.
It's about
you're more than likely going to get hired.
Yeah, because I've been doing this shit naturally. They have an environment. They have.
What happened to meritocracy from before? What happened to equality?
What happened to equality?
What happened to equality? What happened to meritocracy before?
So
see, this is the problem. Like this is what I'm trying to say. Like the whole, like you're over here researching shit. You can't even like, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to pull up close for people to just to get the book and try to just really just.
Bro, nobody that no one thinks to themselves, oh, let me look up this like obscure book from like back in the 1970s about black fatigue. When we talk about black fatigue, it's about like George Floyd. It's about the riots all across these blue cities where they're fucking lighting cities on fire because some dude who overdosed on fentanyl, right?
He didn't overdose on fentanyl. What the fuck are you talking about?
So hold on. So you think you don't? So you think George Floyd was like a martyr?
No, he was he was just a citizen that was just trying to get something to eat or whatever the fuck and died for no reason. He wasn't no hero, and that's the problem. You guys are trying to paint him as a hero to try to demonize.
Demonize?
Yeah, demonize. That's my fault.
Okay, let me go through the fact pattern with you because you clearly don't know who George Floyd was. George Floyd was a multi-time convicted felon criminal. When he was apprehended on that day. No. Let's go through the facts.
Hero. That's just a regular citizen.
No. Let's go through the facts because you guys never like to talk about the facts. This is what transpired on that day. On that day, he went into a convenience store, passed a fake note. That's a federal crime investigated by the Secret Service.
So
then on top of that
gives him reason to
and then they called the police on him. Okay, let me finish what I'm saying. After that, they called the police on him. He goes ahead and conducts a drug transaction, another felony with his drug dealer right there. Police come, pull him out. As he's about to get pulled out, what does he do? He swallows some fentanyl because he doesn't want to get arrested again for drug possession. As he's there, and Chauvin has his knee on his back, not on his neck, on his knee on his back.
He has
a technique that was taught by the Minneapolis Police Department, by the way.
Everybody's seen that shit.
Okay, again, it was on his back. It was a technique taught by the Minneapolis Police Department, okay? He was taught that technique, okay? That was brought up by his defense. Also, he did not get a fair trial. Anyone that has half a brain that watched that trial knows that it was not a fair trial. How do I know this? Because they had a BLM activist on the jury. That's absolutely ridiculous.
What's the problem with that? No, I'm trying to explain. Like, I'm trying to get your information.
Do you understand the process of like Verdire and having an impartial jury? Do you understand how a BLM protester would not be an impartial juror?
No.
Okay, bro, we can't even have a conversation, bro.
Oh my gosh.
But if you don't understand that, then there's nothing to talk about, and that explains everything else here.
For people to kind of know and try to know who you are. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, I think they're agreeing with me on this point. You can't see what's going on behind you, but the fatigue is high because you don't even understand the fact that having a juror on a jury for a case that has national recognition that's extremely racially charged is a problem and is going to violate his rights of getting a fair trial.
But like, all right, so
he should get honestly, I'm gonna say it. He should get a fucking pardon. He did not get. And the other thing too, he had what, double or triple the lethal dose of fentanyl in his bloodstream. No. The reason why he was prosecuted so hard is because he was a black man. He was a black man, and it was a white police officer. In America, we have a thing now where, with like Chud the Builder, for example. Oh, white person gets involved with a black person. We don't want to deal with cities going on fire and what went down with Minneapolis before and the BLM protest. We're just going to make the arrest.
He's going to jail regardless. So I mean,
oh really?
With my opinion, though, I mean, with the system that's in play, I mean, I think he should be released to get the hands at the people. I mean, at the end of the day, you know.
Okay, what makes him guilty in your eyes? Take me.
He got a family.
Okay, take me. What makes him guilty?
What makes him guilty?
Yeah.
It's oh shit. It's all his like. Oh damn. We're getting confused. I'm getting fucking sidetracked. But like bottom line is that he's gonna go to jail for what, 30 to 60 years. So
okay. On what facts?
On what facts?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I said this on my talks as well.
Okay. Well, why'd he shoot him? Like what? Tell me what happened on that day.
Well, first of all, to slow myself down. He shot a disabled citizen, and you failed the fact that you're even like putting out the facts and trying to justify that he's supposed to be out of jail and stuff like that. He shot a disabled citizen, and not only that, he was a veteran.
Okay, why'd he shoot him? Why'd he shoot him?
Why'd he shoot him? To fucking.
Oh, you don't even know?
No, I do know. I mean.
Okay, tell me.
I mean, that's the problem. He shot him for no reason. He tried to gain clout and shit like that.
Okay, he shot him for no reason and to get clout.
Basically, that's basically what his content portrays. So he's not put.
Yeah, this is why the average black IQ is 85. Congratulations. Anyway. See, like, bro, thank you for proving all the stereotypes correctly, bro. And I'm one of the only people that has the balls to say this shit when it comes to niggas, bro. Y'all niggas are stupid. Let's go to the next person.
As Myron Gaines pointed out, this activist seemed completely lost when it came to the facts of the case. The argument being made was basically that someone should spend decades in prison simply because they shot another person, while ignoring the actual circumstances and focusing instead on the content that person posted online. According to Myron, that's exactly the problem. The discussion wasn't centered on what actually happened, but on emotions and assumptions. He argued that this is something people see repeatedly in major media coverage, where stories become so emotionally charged that many people stop looking at the facts for themselves. Instead of researching the details, they accept whatever narrative is being pushed and move on. Myron's point was that after years of this, many people begin to see that behavior as normal without ever questioning it. In his view, a lot of individuals end up repeating talking points they've heard elsewhere without fully understanding the situation. He argued that